I'm Linda and welcome to Barlates Body Blitz Lower Mat Sculpt. For today's workout, all you will need is an exercise mat, and I'm going to use a hand weight to increase some of the exercises. This is a 2.5 kilo or a 5-pound hand weight. You can go a little bit lower if you like, and if you're just starting out. I'm using a slightly heavier one, which means I won't be able to do as many reps as I usually do in my lower body mat workouts. So make sure you have some sort of weight. You can use an ankle weight instead as well, if you wanted to, but I'm just going to use this for a bit of variety. Okay, we're going to get started just heating up the body a little bit. So I want you to come into a plank position with your arms straight underneath your shoulders, and we're just going to do some rockets back and blast forward. So come all the way back with your glutes and forward. I want you to try and hold your tummy in, so you've got a nice flat back, coming into that perfect plank position each time. Heating up through those thighs and also your hamstrings and your glutes, getting it all happening. Just going through all of those traditional Pilates bar style mat exercises that we know are so effective. Go for 4 and 3 and 2 and 1, and we're just going to change it up. I want you to bring your knees apart this time and your feet together. Similar sort of thing, coming up, so your heels are together. It's like a frog with your knees turned out now. Breathe through it. This heats up the body nice and quick. Come all the way down. Starting to feel the inner thighs a bit as well. Keep your heels together for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome job. Now we're coming down on our side, and form is key here. You really need to make sure you're lining yourself up properly. So stay up with your neck nice and long, your shoulder and elbow aligned. You've got your hips stacked. Make sure your hip bones are in line. Don't turn out. Align everything. And we're just going to start off stock standard, one leg bent, other leg straight, leg raises. Starting off without that weight, just heating everything up. So your legs are in line, they're slightly in front, probably at about 45 degrees. So slightly outside your mat if you're using a mat like me. Your tummy's pulled in, neck nice and long, don't slouch. Your hand can be in front here if you want some extra support, and you're just warming that up. Up and down. Your kneecap is facing the front of the room. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now we're going to bend it and bring our knees slightly forward, and we're going to put the weight on our thigh. So if you don't want to do this with the weight, you don't have to. We're going to up and down with the weight, starting off with a bent leg. So the reason I moved my bottom knee forward a bit was to give me more of an anchored position. The further you have it back, the harder this is going to be to remain stable and in the perfect position facing forward. So with this weight, you're going to start feeling it straight away. Keeping our leg bent here. Moving everything up and down like one unit. Make sure you're holding it in a position where it's not digging into your thigh. And don't actually grip onto the weight so that your hand takes the weight. Your hand is simply stopping it from rolling off. Go for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now we're going to kick front and back in. So side and back in. This time I want your knee to come closer to your chest. and then point away. Perfectly in line, point in. You see that my kneecap is still facing the front of the room, which means my weight is not going to fall off. You have to remember to make that thigh like a platform. It's in and point long. So you're pointing your toe, you're thinking of stretching that leg at the same time as keeping it lifted. The leg is up the entire time. Don't let it drop. Should be feeling the heat in your glutes there. Side. Keep going. Angle changes make a huge difference with all of these leg raises and leg exercises. For 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. Now bring your leg in. This time we're going to extend to the back. Then bring it in, push to the back. So before we were in line with the body, and now we're stretching back. And what this does is activate the glute a bit more. Push back. So we did our raises to the front, then we went in line with the body, now we're pushing to the back. So we're hitting those outer thighs and glutes from all angles. Back. Really extend long. I want you to reach back as far as you can. Remember not to slouch. Your tummy's still pulled in. Your hips are still stacked. Keep going. All the way back. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now bring those legs back together. If you want to, you can come all the way down for this one. And we're going to open our leg out like a clam. So I want you to raise your lower calf up and open up and back down. So it's like a diamond shape, and your knee is trying to come all the way straight up to the ceiling. Resisting against that weight. If your weight isn't heavy enough, you can always push down on that thigh to create even more resistance against that leg as it comes up. Keep breathing. All the way up. Up. That lower leg is getting a bit of work as well, just holding that calf there. Up. Remember, your hips still need to be stacked here. Go for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now both legs down. This time we're going to bring them forward so they're directly in line with your hips, and we're going to keep both legs bent, and we're lifting from this position. Directly up and down. Keep that weight in place. If at any time you need to drop the weight, then do so that you can keep going through the whole set. Just a few more exercises on this side, and then we're changing sides. Keep going. Really starting to burn now. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest it for a second. Now we're going to stay up. We're going to kick forward, then kick back. Kick forward, kick back. So your leg is staying up the entire time. Don't let it drop. Squeeze your glute as you poke your toe to the back wall. It's forward, it's back. As far back as you can go. This one's a bit easier. So you should be able to do this without too much pain. Pain of the good kind, muscular pain. And back. muscle burning pain. It's forward and back. If you want to keep the weight this way as well, you can. It really depends on what sort of dumbbells you're using to find the most comfortable position. 8 and back. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Last thing, extend that leg and pulse it. So you're really stretching out, keeping that weight there, keeping your leg as high as you can, and pulsing it out. Your tummy's in. Keep going. Last exercise on this side. Keep going. You can do this. Think about something else. Straighten that leg. Really flex behind the knee. I want to straight behind the knee. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Great job. Bring that weight safely down for a second. We're just going to stretch that before we move to the other side. So bring it over. Ah, that feels really good and really bad all at the same time. Okay. Straight to the other side. Are you ready? You know what to expect now. So line yourself up with your elbow directly underneath your shoulder. Your neck is long. Your hips are stacked, not open, stacked. Your legs are approximately at 45 degrees, and then you're just going to start raising. Up and down. Raising it. Keeping your leg really nice and straight here so that behind the knee is locked out. You're pointing your toes, so it's pointing away. Okay, lengthening at the same time as strengthening. Keep going. Have to heat it up just the same way as we did on the other side. Is your tummy in? Have your hips stacked? Is your neck nice and long? Don't slouch like this. It's very easy to do that. I want you up here. Heating that up. This side's going to feel it probably a little bit more quickly because we were supporting ourselves on the other side. So maybe try starting with the other side next time so that you balance it out. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend both legs, get your weight, place it on the outside, and we're just going to raise it. Raise it. So you're still about at 45 degrees, not directly in front and not directly to the back, and you're raising it up. Really burning. This is my less strong side or my weaker side. So I'm feeling it already. It's okay. We can do this. We survived it on the other side. Think happy thoughts, strong thoughts. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now we're going to do that in and directly out to the side. Okay, so you bring it in almost to your chest, then pushing out. Keeping your leg on the same horizontal plane the entire time. You're not dropping it. It's one fluid range of motion. In and out. Keep going. All the way in. Remembering that stretch behind the knee. Pointing your toe long. In and out. Keep checking your form. Just go for 8 more. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now remember, we're doing that same thing but pushing behind. So it's in and press back. Really thinking about the glute now, squeezing the glute, making a fist out of that glute as you poke to the back. Poke back. Squeeze. Keep your leg high. You need to create your own intensity here. If this weight isn't heavy enough, then get another one. In and squeeze. Squeeze. It's like you're trying to reach the back wall. Don't slouch in your shoulder. All the way. Keep on going. We have to even it out. Go for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now coming down, and we're going to put our knees together, and remember, lift that bottom leg. We're doing those clams. So up to the ceiling. It's down and up, down and up. Just your toes are touching, and you're trying to create that diamond shape in between your legs. Really push up high. It's that last little push, trying to get that leg all the way up to the ceiling, that makes the difference. You should almost feel a little shake there. I'm starting to shake. Keep that weight in just the right position so that you have to resist against it to get your leg up there. Keep going. You can do this. Eight, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, ouchies. Okay, so now bring your legs closer together. Adjust on the mat so your back is against the back of the mat. Your knees are in line with your hips, and you're keeping that weight, and you're just doing those leg raises with bent legs. All the way up. So being in this L-shaped position is going to make it a little bit tougher than when your legs were more at 45 degrees. But that's okay. Thighs are a strong muscle group. You can do this. Keep going. Up and up. One fluid motion. Don't rest your leg at the bottom. It's just a light touch and up. Up. Just go for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Tiny little break. Now come back up. We're pointing to the front, then pushing to the back. It's to the front straight, then push back. You're poking your toe to that back wall again. But this time you're extending long at the front. Keeping your leg high. You're pushing back. Really think about squeezing your glute towards the back there. Forward and back. Keeping your knee facing this wall at the front. Don't let it turn up to the ceiling. This large range of motion actually should feel a little bit easier. That's why we need to focus on squeezing. So you're squeezing your glutes at the back and your quads at the front. Don't miss out. If you're just throwing your leg around, you're not going to get the benefits or the results. Keep going for 4 more. And 3. And 2. And 1. And now we're going to do that pulse to finish. So keep your leg to the front. You're in that L shape. And you're just pulsing up. Point your toe. Breathe through it. Last little bit for outer thigh. And then we're moving on to inner thigh. Keep going. This is one of the toughest ones because you've got long levers and you're trying very hard to keep that leg perfectly straight. Little bit more. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome job. Put that weight down for a second. We're going to stretch that out before we move on to inner thighs. So bring your legs up and across and just bring your chest towards that. You don't even need to come close because you're going to feel it just sitting here. Stretching that out. Really felt that intense heat. That's a good thing. Alright, now we're moving on to inner thigh. We're actually going to do the other leg, but we're going to stay in the same position. You can either come down here again or stay up on your elbow. I'm going to stay up on my elbow for the start. I might move down if I need to later. So, back leg you can have in releve if you want, or just flat. I quite like it in releve. Front leg, your toe is aligning with the mat. We're just going to start off without the weight, raising that leg, raising it high, activating our inner thighs. Our hips are slightly turned out now, but you're trying to keep your stance towards the front. Your kneecap is definitely facing the front of the room, not coming up to the ceiling like that. So keep it turned out. And your leg is super straight with that nice flexed back of leg. Super straight. And we're just raising, fresh leg, not too bad. Go for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Great job. Now we're going to start with that weight. This is a smaller muscle group. You might not be able to do as many reps. We're going to bring our leg close now. So directly in line, up and out. In line, in front. In line, in front. In line, in front. Put the weight where it works for you so that you're not hitting your other leg with it. In front. Back. Your kneecap has to face the front of the room no matter which position your leg is in. That's key. In and out. In and out. Try to keep your leg up even on the lower part of this motion. See how I'm never putting my foot down? I'm keeping it up to keep tension on that inner thigh. Go for 5 and 4, 3 and 2 and 1. Okay, now we're going to do a bend press. A bend press. Keeping your leg up and pressing out long. Bend, press. The higher you have your leg, the more you're going to feel it in that inner thigh. Bend, press. Really concentrate on squeezing the quad, the front of your thigh on the press. Bend, press, and press. 8, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now bring your leg forward a bit more. We're going to do mini presses. Mini ones. Bend press, bend press. But your leg is out more this time. Press it out. A few more. Keep going. Keep breathing. Keep it up. Go for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now keep your leg out. This is the last one. And I want it all the way up and back down. All the way up. Hold your weight there. All the way up. And then don't come down all the way. Up. And up. And up. And up. Keep going. You can do this. This is not as tough as some of my other inner thigh workouts. You're getting a break soon. Keep breathing. Can we do 10 more? 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Great job. Put that down and we're just going to stretch that out. So just come into a straddle position and coming down. Wiggle your toes around a bit. Flex and point. Awesome job. Now other side. So once again, we need to line ourselves up. If you're up on your elbow, make sure that you're nicely aligned there. Your back foot can be up on the toe or flat. Your front toe is towards the corner, okay? So keep that nice alignment and start raising. Remember to straighten out your leg. Your kneecap is to the front and you're pointing away, lengthening at the same time as raising. Up and up. All the way up. Keep your tummy pulled in, your neck nice and long. Keep raising, heating up that inner thigh before we hit it with the weight. Inner thigh work is really important to balance out the shape of your thigh. A lot of people focus on glutes and quads and hamstrings and they neglect their inner thighs. But each part of that thigh is so important to give you not only a balanced look, but to help you with your daily exercises, your daily work, anything that you're doing, you're supporting yourself with all of your muscles, so you want to strengthen them equally. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It really prevents injury when you're well-rounded in your routine. Put your weight on your thigh, bring your leg in line this time, and remember we're going to go in and out, drawing that arc with our body, but keeping our kneecap to the front. Up and up, up and up. Obviously the higher you go, the tougher this will be. This is my weaker side, so I can already feel this. Pretty burny, but I'm going to fight for it, and so will you. Just take a microsecond break if you need to, or just drop that weight. You can work up to this, and the awesome thing is you can never outgrow it, because you can always add more weight. Keep going. If it gets to be a little bit uncomfortable, you can lay down and do this, but you might lose your balance. You might have to readjust. In fact, if you wanted to, you could bring your back leg across the front and do it that way, although your range of motion will be a lot less. 4, 3, 2, 1. Now we're going to do that bend press. Pressing and straightening. Keeping your leg up. Make sure you keep your alignment with your shoulder and elbow straight. I just felt myself moving away from that elbow, and that put a bit of extra stress on the shoulder joint. Press. Keep going. Really feeling that. Shaping that muscle. Keep going. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now we're going to come to the front a little bit more and tiny bend press. Tiny bend press. Faster. You're more at a 45-degree angle now. And you're keeping your leg high. And you're pressing it out fast. Keep it up. Tummy's in, support your back. Neck is long. Don't slouch. Go for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now keep it out and all the way up. All the way up. Adjust your weight. Up. Up. As high as you can get it. Try to get it in line with the other knee. All the way up. Last little bit. Keep going. Up. Really burning. Few more. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yay. Drop that weight. We're not quite done. Come onto your back. Lying all the way down. We're going to stretch our legs up. We're going to turn our toes out so your heels are touching. And we're just going to come wide and press up. Out and up. So your knees are coming out like a frog. And then pressing up. Down. Press up through your heels. Press up through your thighs. Trying to straighten and bring those thighs together. Really feeling that because of all of the inner thigh work we already did. So my front leg is a lot more fatigued because we just worked it last. But you can do this. Just a few more. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep your legs turned out. Bend them slightly. One leg is down. Pulse the bottom leg. Oh, big shake going on. There's a big shake going on in this leg at the top here. We're keeping our inner thighs facing up. Our leg is bent like in that diamond shape. And you're just pulsing. Pulsing down. Pulsing that leg. The other one's just holding steady. Still feeling it, just holding it in that spot. A bit of ab work here as well. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it up to that diamond shape. Other leg down and pulse it. Oh. Keep that diamond shape. Don't let this leg turn in. Turn it out. I know it's hard to keep this coordination and this form at the end when our legs are fatigued, but this is the bit that counts. So we have to finish strong. This leg is just shaking. You can do this a little bit more. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome job. Bring your knees in. We're going to plant one foot and we're going to stretch the hamstring. That's it. You finished. Oh, that feels good. Stretching that out and then bring it to the side as far down as you're comfortable, and you're stretching your inner thigh. Holding it down with that hand. Breathing into your stretches. And now I want that other leg straight and bring this knee across. Stretching out your spine, as well as that hip and glute. And then just that same figure 4 we did, but now in a laying position. I want you to push away on this knee. Hold it in and push. Opening that up. And now put that leg down, straighten your hamstring. You can point and flex. And then bring it to the side and just open it out as far as you're comfortable, stretching out through the inner thigh. And then straightening that leg and bring this across, trying to keep your shoulders down. That feels great on the spine. And now that figure 4, remember to push away on this knee whilst drawing in on the other side. And rolling it up. And that is it. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you felt the burn like me, and I look forward to working out with you again soon.